Jared, how do you get your very first speaking gig without spending any money? Well, I'm a YouTuber, so that means I'm going to give you the answer towards the end of this video, so you'll have to keep watching. Sorry. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jared Scott. I'm the speaker that's booked over 1,000 paid engagements before the age of 30. If you are new here, you didn't know, but if you knew, you know because you've been here. You get it. All right, anyways, moving on. Today we are talking about booking your very first speaking engagement. Even if you've booked before and you still want to learn how to book better, this is a very good video to watch. At the end, I am going to throw in a bonus tip. This is the way I would do things if I could go back in time. That would be the only play that I would run. That doesn't mean skip to the end. If you do that, you owe me a like, a comment, and a subscription. Now, when I first started, I didn't have money. I didn't have a bureau or an agency, and I did not have a team. It was literally just me. So the tips that I'm going to give you today are geared towards you as an individual doing this all by yourself. Of course, there's easier ways to do this if you go out and hire people, but the ways that I'm giving you specifically in this video are if you have no money, you have no momentum, you are starting from scratch. Booking strategy number 1. Your first gig is always in your phone. I know you didn't want to hear that, but I have to get this one out of the way. You would be surprised at how many people in your contacts right now are connected to your decision makers. You might be in education. You're thinking, Jared, I don't have any teacher friends or principal friends, but all of your friends, most of your friends have kids that go to schools, and those schools have teachers, which those friends of yours might know those teachers. They might have a favorite teacher, or they might know the principal, and they could refer you. Just try it. Right now you might have doubt. You're just saying, no, that's not going to work. It can't be that easy. That's how I started as a teenager in high school. Eventually somebody I knew in my contacts knew the superintendent in my town, and I got to sit down and have a meeting with him. I showed him my music video at the time of a song that I just made for a friend of mine that passed away, and I told him I wanted to sing this song in all of his schools. I showed him the video, I gave him my presentation, I gave him my pitch right there in person, and it turned into a 24 school tour over the next couple of years. I went to all these schools within my whole town, and he introduced me to my first mentor, a globetrotter. So you have no idea what could happen if you just start telling people about what you do. Quick little side story. One time I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and I was in the airport, Sky Harbor, and I ended up having this conversation with this lady. It was a God conversation. I'm not going to go into the details of the conversation, but God put it on my mind and in my heart to say certain things to her that gave her confirmation that it was God speaking through me. And she ended up investing in the Culture Shift Tour $15,000. Just so you know, if you are doing the right things the right way, and it's on your heart to do what you're doing and make impact in the world, and you believe that this is something that God would get behind and push, then don't be shy about it. Go tell the world what you're trying to do, so that way people will help you, and God's going to answer prayers through people. So if you start talking about what you need and what you're going to do, and you're aiming at the highest possible good, then all those things that you need to accomplish it, God will put people in your path to make those things possible. All right, tip number 2. If you are willing to talk about what you do, start calling people. Start calling event planners, people at YMCAs, people at Boys and Girls Clubs, people at church youth groups. And what you tell them is, I want to come speak for free because I need to get content. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a website. I'm trying to build a speaker's reel. I'm trying to get social proof. You don't have to have anybody in the audience. That's right. I would call churches and say, hey, on a day that you're not using the stage, can I use the stage? I'm going to film it. You can look over everything that I say before I post it. If you like it, I'll tag your youth group. I'll thank you for letting me use the stage. And next time when I come and practice my speeches, you can let people sit in that you think would benefit from hearing this message. So you're asking for a free stage, not even an audience, just a stage. And what I would do is I'd bring like 10 changes of clothes, and I would do that speech over and over and over in a different shirt with different pants, with a hat on, hat off, and just look different each time. And I'd ask the guy, if you get really close with him, I'd ask the guy to change, the lighting in the back of the stage, so that way it looks like a different stage each time. And I'm getting a bunch of content that I can cut up for clips, that I can add to a speaker's reel, that I can add to my website, that adds to my social proof, right? And then it makes it easier when I'm reaching out to people to come speak at their event, because it looks like I'm speaking all the time. And the truth is, I am. There's this platform called Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You've heard of it, right? That's a platform that thousands of people were watching those videos before I ever spoke in front of a person in person. You see, I'm reaching thousands of people from that stage. So don't think that there has to be people sitting out in an audience for you to make an impact. The impact right now that I'm making is through this video, through this camera, through YouTube, right? So you can do the same thing. I used to speak out in parks. I used to just set up, had a Bluetooth speaker. I told everybody on Facebook, I'm going to be there every Tuesday, this time. Come by. The people walking by became followers of mine. People just started to listen. I started to stream it on Facebook Live. You see what I'm saying? You create it, they will come. I mean, really, what happens when you just do it anyway? Go set up in the park and speak anyway. Nobody's going to stop you from using your voice. I'm about to get pumped up right now. I'm about to go crazy. Because that's what I did. I got no after no after no. I got 100 no's before I got one yes. That's real. Over 100 no's before I got one yes. I had to go speak for free, just standing out in the park with my little stereo. One time we actually just went to Six Flags and just walked around the park asking people if we could rap and sing for them. My friend Harrison was a singer, my friend Darian played the keys, and my friend Josh, we called him the transporter because he was the driver. And we'd all just hang out at Six Flags all day. And we would look up days that kids were going to be there, like on school field trips, and we would just go around and we would just sing and rap for people and hand out CDs. Nobody was going to tell us no. A year later, we actually got to perform at Six Flags because we were known as those kids that just came and did it anyways. We would set up in hotel lobbies. Me and my friend Bryce used to go to Las Vegas when we lived in Los Angeles. It was like 3 or 4 hour drive, and we would literally just set up and rap and sing on the strip. I mean, nobody was going to stop us from doing what we said we were going to do, and eventually people were willing to pay. So if you're not even willing to just do it, how can you expect people to pay you to do it? You want to be a singer? Sing, right? You want to be a business owner? Stand on business, then do some business. Good God. And that brings me to strategy number 3, which is set up your own free events. When I was 18 years old, there was this group called Team Truth. I wanted to be a part of it really bad. I followed them around Texas and kept asking for a job. Got denied 4 times, not because they didn't believe in me, honestly, just because I was so young. They couldn't believe that, an 18-year-old kid wanted to travel the country and speak with them. And so I had to prove myself. I put together an event in my hometown, went to all the schools and handed out free tickets to the event, hired the guy at Team Truth to come speak at the event, put myself on stage before him, performed with an entire band, and then afterwards asked again for the job. You see, there's certain things that I was willing to do that I see speakers today that are just whining about things like, it's just not happening for me, it's just not fair, the state of the market, the budgets, the cuts, shut up. That was rough. I'll bring it back a little bit. I'll dial it back. I'm sorry about that. I'm supposed to be here to help you, not condemn you, okay? So let's try that again. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Get to work. I mean, do it. Just do it. You want to be a speaker? Speak. All right, here is the bonus tip that I promised. If I could go back in time, the one thing that I would do is a massive amount of outreach. And the reason why is because there's always a number. I realized this when I was a kid. I would reach out to 100 people and I'd finally get somebody that would say yes. And so after a while, I was like, well, if I want 5 gigs, I have to reach out to at least 500 people. And then I started to send emails and I realized that I'd have to send a lot more emails to get one yes. It's about 1,000 to 1 ratio. So I'd send 1,000 emails, I'd get about 10 book calls, and of those 10 book calls, I'd close 1 to 2 gigs. So in my mind, I was like, if I want to speak at 5 schools this month, 10 schools this month, I have to send 5,000 to 10,000 emails. That makes sense. And then from those 5 yeses, I could block book and I could call schools around that area, email schools around those areas, and I could get more schools booked because they would say yes because this other school's already saying yes. The FOMO and the fear of missing out and just getting me while I was in town started to double those bookings. So I would do outreach to the point of 5 to 10 gigs a month, and then I would block book to turn those 5 to 10 gigs into 20 or 30. And that's how much I was doing for a good 10-year period. And that's how I made it to over 1,000 paid engagements. You need to do more outreach. I ask speakers all the time, how much outreach are you doing? They'll say, I'm doing 100 a week, man. I'm hitting up 100 different decision makers a week. I'm like, it's going to take you 10 weeks to get one result. 1,000 to 1 ratio. I mean, you just need to do more outreach. And yes, it's hard, especially if you're doing it manually. But if you have AI systems, automated systems, if you have what we build at SpeakHive, I promise you will have leads coming into your inbox every single day, booking 2 to 4 paid engagements every single month. Because the reality is, if you're not getting the results that you want, we just turn the thing up and we will outreach to more people. You do more outreach to get more income. It's just that simple. And at the end of the day, it really is math. Of course, you get more yeses when you have more social proof. So if you're filming everything, if you're getting testimonials, if you're taking pictures and you have a good website and all of that and the speaker reel, then the yeses come more often. But even when I didn't have any of that, I still had a number. I still had a certain amount of people that I had to outreach to get a yes with absolutely nothing but me getting on a phone call with them and showing them my heart. And I know that's possible for you too if you are willing to do the work. So if that sounds good to you, here's the pitch. We will build the system for you. All you have to do is click the link down below, schedule a strategy call with our team. If you don't work with us, the strategy call is still very, very important. You can take what you learn on the call, implement it into your business, whether you work with us or not. So what do you have to lose? Click the link down below, book the call, and I will see you in the next video.